che la tecnologia vada sempre dalla nostra parte. Intanto buona Pasquetta a tutti. Gli ultimi. Ok, dovremmo esserci. Vediamo che Instagram e appunto eccolo. Hi Steve. E intanto diamo la possibilità a chi aveva piacere di collegarsi per questa diretta ciao a tutti, buona Pasquetta a tutti. Diamo la possibilità a chi aveva piacere di volersi collegare per questa diretta con un grandissimo della miscelazione mondiale in Steve Schneider lo faccia. Spero che avete passato una piacevole Pasqua, bella, penso che sia un'altra cosa oggi come oggi, e quindi non attendiamo altro. Mi sentite intanto? Sì? Sì? Ok? Ok. Allora, visualizzo. Ok. Vediamo se. Here he is. Hi, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. Can you hear me well?
A little choppy, but I can.
A little edgy. I think that's. Yeah. I think.
Hang on. Hang on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think there might be a connection.
Choppy. You're still a little bit choppy. I can barely hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna get rid of these.
Getting better.
It's getting better. Okay. It might be a connection issue. Okay. First of all, we're gonna try, and then if we get any issues, we'll try and figure out as we go. First of all, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. It's an absolute honor to be able to have a chat with you today. Like I mentioned, sort of trying to keep smiles and the passion for our trade as much as possible during this very, very delicate time that we're all going through. And so it would have been nice to be able to chat with you today.
Can you hear me?
Yes and no. Hold on, I'm gonna try and get rid of these. Okay. Connection is a little choppy, I think. Okay. Hopefully it's better now. Okay, so yeah, basically I was thanking you for
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
heard
get
you.
rid.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little introduction in Italian, and then we'll get going if that's okay.
Sounds good. Say good things about me.
Of course. Well, we already discussed this, didn't we? So I'm not gonna say bad things. Ok, ragazzi, quindi per me è un immenso onore poter parlare con Steve Schneider oggi. Un personaggio che io ammiro tantissimo sulla scala della miscelazione mondiale. Dopo l'11 settembre a New York si è arruolato nei Marine, dove si è fatto strada. Pochi giorni prima della partenza ebbe un incidente molto what the hell? Nothing's working today. Okay. We're gonna fix that shortly. Pochi giorni prima della partenza, in una banale rissa di strada, lo ha lasciato in fin di vita con pochissime speranze. È stato veramente male, con un miracolo, la riabilitazione che gli è durata 3 anni, le cicatrici che porta con orgoglio come se fossero medaglie. Nel 2013 è stato uno dei protagonisti di un film che si chiama Hey Bartender, con tantissimi mostri sacri come Deo de Groff, Sasha Petrask e tanti altri sulla rinascita del cocktail a New York. Dopo un'importante esperienza presso Employees Only di New York City, diventa co-proprietario di Employees Only a Singapore. Insieme allo chef Travis Young acquistano l'Elysian Café, apre lo Strangers Club a Panama e a Shanghai crea il concept, in questo caso di Odd Couple con Shingo Gokan. tutti ovviamente protagonisti della miscelazione mondiale. Quindi, thanks again, Steve, for letting us have a chat with you today. First of all, how are you?
Best day of my life. Can't complain, brother.
Okay. I like the positivity. Although being positive these days is not a good thing to say.
It's good. It's just about springtime here in New York, and it's my favorite time of year. So always good stuff to look forward to.
Excellent. Quindi dai, Steve, come potete vedere, è molto ottimista. Il bel tempo gli trasmette questa piacevole energia, quindi molto molto bene. Okay, so Steve, I'm going to get cracking with some questions. If anybody else has some, feel free. Ragazzi, se qualcuno di voi ha delle domande da chiedere a Steve, non abbiate paura, è una persona molto molto affabile, quindi fatele pure. First of all, what sort of started this passion of bartending of yours?
Well, geez, it goes back almost 18 years now when I first started behind the bar.
Okay.
As you all know, I was, serving in the U.S. military, and after I had a head injury, I had a lot of extra time. I had time to kill because I had a lot of appointments, for medical stuff to try to rehabilitate my brain. And I passed by this bar in Georgetown, D.C. that said hiring and whatever. If one thing you know about the military, they don't pay us anything. So it was cool to get another job at night, and I had the time for it. So I was cleaning up toilets for a little while and, beating up Georgetown kids and stuff for a living. And then late night, we would play poker, right? This is back when poker, when Texas Hold'em was on ESPN. It was huge. And I was the youngest, so they'd have me make shots, make shitty shots and pour them beers and make, vodka sodas, gin and tonics. And and then when we got busy, they said, Steve, help us out. And when I was behind the bar, it was just fun because I had a head injury, so I had a lot of cognitive problems and stuff.
Okay.
So it was just, I don't know. It was a nice camaraderie thing, working with other people and fighting off a crowd of people, with drinks and stuff. And for me, it just really, it was just so cool. It was so different than what I was used to. And I just fell in love with it.
Fantastic stuff. All right, so I'm just going to translate this part. I wouldn't want to miss any cool parts. Quindi ho chiesto a Steve che cosa ha scaturato questa sua passione per la miscelazione. E lui, come ci diceva, come appunto vi ho raccontato, lui era nei Marine, e se c'è una cosa che sappiamo dei Marine americani, che non vengono pagati molto. Aveva tanto tempo libero e quindi spesso e volentieri dava una mano in questo locale dove all'epoca si giocava ancora a poker a Texas Hold'em, dove gli veniva chiesto appunto di fare degli shot a differenza di birre eccetera eccetera, ed è una cosa che gli è piaciuta sin da subito, questa cosa di avere questa cosa adrenalinica. Lui, quando ebbe i problemi alla testa, purtroppo aveva dei problemi di come connettere le cose, e quindi insomma l'ha trovato subito molto molto bello, insomma, ed è yeah, we all love the t-shirt. Yeah, we saw it. Somebody's commenting on your shirt.
Yeah, that's Nectali. It's actually his event.
Okay.
I happen to be randomly wearing it today.
Excuse me. Yeah. Excellent.
Also, a quick answer to your first question was, I never really wanted a real job, quote unquote. I wanted to do something that was a little different. So military, bartending, it's all not normal to the general public, and that's what I always wanted to do.
Yeah, I must admit, I've had the same question myself. People will come up to you and say, "So what do you do for a living?" And you'd say, "Okay, I'm a bartender," and they'd be like, "What's your real job?" Obviously trying to explain to somebody when you're 14, 16 hours behind a stick, you don't get a lot of time to do much else.
But I used to get that question a lot, especially 10, 15 years ago. You don't get it too much anymore, though. So
yeah, no, that's good.
There had to be some old guys had to pave the way. So
yeah. Well, Well, we're about the same age, so we're at least age-wise, we're in the same league. So that's excellent. Okay, so when we spoke about what how this passion for bartending came along, what was there a specific time where you realized it was something that you wanted to do when you grew up?
Well, you know, obviously I wanted to do the military thing, but when I got discharged, I had no other choice, really. I definitely didn't want to go back to school.
Okay.
I mean, school and me was not a very good mix. You know, I was always a smart kid, but I was the class clown in high school. I was, I don't know, I just never took it seriously. You know, I wanted to do things with my hands, you know. And I really had nothing else, man. I fell back. It was the only thing that made me happy. I was freaking depressed, man, when I got out. You know, like my dream got shattered, the military stuff after my injury. So I was like, I need to do something, and that was the only thing that made me happy. And I think I just kind of rolled with it, and I was able to make a few bucks too. It was fine, it was fun, but I never really took it seriously until I got discharged from the military.
Ok. Quindi ho chiesto a Steve se c'era un momento specifico quando lui ha deciso di diventare un bartender da grande, e lui dice molto probabilmente il momento specifico è stato appunto quando sono stato lasciato a casa dai militari, insomma. Inizialmente era soltanto un piccolo guadagno fare il bartender. Sicuramente dover abbandonare il marino è stato qualcosa di molto importante per lui, e tanto che ha sofferto anche di depressione, e quindi lavorare dietro i banchi bar è stata comunque una cosa che lo rendeva felice, ed era una cosa che amava fin da sempre. Quindi ottimo. Okay, so moving on. A lot of people, you know, a lot of bartenders, bar ladies have a dream to have their own bar, right? I think most of us have had or are conquering this dream. You're definitely one of those people. Was there something specific that made you want to jump from being a bartender or a bar manager to actually owning your own place?
Well, for me, I always thought it was the most natural progression. You know, I hate to keep bringing stuff back up to the military, but that's kind of where I came from. But you start at the bottom, no matter who you are, and you work your way up. And eventually, you know, you dig the holes at the beginning, and then eventually you tell people where to dig the holes. And I figured, you know, that was just a natural progression. And in all honesty, that first bar I told you about that I worked at, I was like, I met this guy, and I was like, I could do the job 20 times better than this guy, you know?
Okay.
I'm like, and he was like rolling up in a Mercedes, you know? He was rolling up in a beautiful car. He had motorcycles and shit. And I was like, man, and he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And I was like, man, I could do a better job. So, you know, it was a combination of just natural progression of bartending, just being your own boss eventually, you know, like I didn't want to work for people forever. And then just knowing, I think I could be good at the job, you know?
Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. Ok, quindi ragazzi, come dicevamo appunto con Steve, se c'era stato un momento particolare dove ha voluto fare il salto da bartender a imprenditore, e lui giustamente ci sta spiegando che è stato una cosa naturale, è stato un progresso naturale a suo modo. Ha detto, non voglio ritornare sempre a parlare dei militari, ma è una progressione naturale. Inizi a scavare le fosse e poi piano piano inizi a spiegare a qualcun altro su come scavare le fosse, ed è ambizioso, insomma. Nel locale dove lavorava Georgetown aveva il collega che arrivava con la bella macchina, con le moto, eccetera eccetera, nonostante magari facesse lui il lavoro molto meglio del collega, e quindi sicuramente la volontà di avere successo c'è sempre stata sin da subito. Okay, so I think we've established this guy didn't really transmit a lot to you. The dude in the Georgetown bar.
Say again about the Georgetown bar?
Okay, about the Georgetown bar. This guy didn't really sort of pass a lot over to you.
No, man. No, he owned a nightclub in Adams Morgan. He'd come in after hours with like 18-year-old girls and shit. And like, you know, I'd finish cleaning the bar, he'd come and fuck it all up. And it was like, he had no redeeming qualities, really. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I must admit, it reminds me a little bit of a sketch from a program called Bar Rescue.
Yeah, Bar Rescue.
Okay.
That show is terrible. Yeah. But
yeah, I must admit,
that bar was so shitty. That bar was so shitty, man. I could still smell like stale beer and stuff. I could still smell it.
Wow.
But hey, you know what? It gave me an opportunity, and I have an appreciation for it because it was my first spot, and it gave me an opportunity to, you know, explore further into this business. You know.
Absolutely. I think it's useful to be able to bring something away from any experience, positive or negative, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you take the good and the bad. It's closed now, thank God. But I mean, it served its purpose. I was a 19, 20-year-old kid, you know. I had to do what I had to do, you know, make a few bucks.
Excellent. Quindi niente, ce la siamo presi un po' a ridere sul locale dove lavoravamo una volta, Steve. Was there anybody that you looked up to as a mentor, Steve, during your early bartending days?
I had a couple, you know, as we all do. And I always have appreciation for people that came before me and helped me, either that gave me an opportunity or taught me what to do or what not to do. Mainly, my first mentor was this guy named John Hogan, who was a bartender. He was from Annapolis, Maryland, but his company was based out of Washington, D.C. And I had won a speed bartending competition that was like taking place with a bunch of dive bar bartenders and shit, and I won it by time. And he sort of took me under his wing, and he taught me more cocktail stuff, more flair stuff, more professional, I guess. Basically, he was the first guy I met that did this job for a living, that wasn't just kind of like, you know, loafing around like I was at the time. So he was my first one, and he kind of piqued my interest in what we could do in the industry. And of course, you know, he was older than me. He was, you know, a solid 12 years older than me, you know, and when you're young, you don't really think about the future, but I always kind of had just a mind for the future and what I can really do. And when I get here, where am I going to go from there? What am I going to do when I'm 50? Like, you know, this and that. It's like, I don't want to be left with jack shit and have a bunch of fun in my 20s and 30s and then be left with nothing. So he kind of piqued my interest. And then, I had, you know, a couple more mentors along the way. Igor Hajismailovich at Employees Only. He pretty much gave me my big break, my big opportunity, going to Singapore with him. And being able to open up Employees Only Singapore, which was changed my life really. And you know, I had a few. I don't want to like leave anybody out, but I got a laundry list of people I consider mentors and good friends and inspirations. So, can you hear me, pal? What's going on with that Italian Wi-Fi out there?
Okay, my bad, Steve. Stupid headphones stopped working. My apologies, mate.
It's all good.
Okay, so I got as far as Igor and the fact that Employees Only Singapore changed your life.
Yeah, that's pretty much all, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, I got a list of mentors here and there, but, you know, it's very important to have a mentor to kind of teach you. A lot of times in the industry, you see a lot of talent and a lot of information gets spread around. But a lot of like lacking on the mentorship side, I think, to give people direction.
Okay, connection's not helping us today. Okay.
My Wi-Fi is crushing it over here.
Maybe.
I got top tier Wi-Fi. I'm going.
Okay. Oh, my Wi-Fi's full on. Okay. Okay. Hopefully we've got it back together. My apologies about this.
It's okay.
Ok. Quindi ragazzi, ho iniziato a chiedere a Steve se c'era qualcuno che fosse, gli avesse trasmesso qualcosa in particolare. Ha parlato di un signore che si chiama John, che è stato colui che gli ha dato un po' di serietà, insomma. dove gli ha spiegato che comunque il bartending non era solo un passatempo come tante altre cose, dove Steve inizialmente pensava lo fosse assolutamente, e un altro è il suo socio di Employees Only, Igor, dove appunto hanno aperto Employees Only a Singapore. Sicuramente esperienza che gli ha cambiato la vita. Was there anybody else I missed, Steve?
Say again?
Was there anybody else I missed other than Igor?
No, that's fine. I think you got everybody, the gist of it. But I just think having a mentor in general is very important for a young bartender in general. Whether it be, like just anybody that can help show you the way and show you the ropes. And I always cherish those people in my life, and I'm always going to look out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fortunately, I think our age bracket had a lot of mentors, or a lot of mentors to choose from. Yeah. Obviously, to choose wise and carefully these days is a little bit more difficult, I would say. Yeah. Because there's such a wide range of, bartenders. But yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely harder these days, I mean, like when I was coming up, there was only, I could count the cocktail bars in one hand in New York City,
Yeah.
I could count, like 5 of us. So, but now there's 5 on every block. So, there's a lot of bars out there, a lot of talent. And, sometimes the mentors are missing, but.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you going to do?
Quindi, ragazzi, Steve ci sta appunto dicendo come consiglio ai giovani bartender di oggi di trovare qualcuno che rispettate, che ammirate, e perché no, avete piacere di seguire, che vi dia un po' lo spunto di avere qualcosa da emulare in qualche maniera, a modo vostro, insomma. Okay, so something I noticed about the way you work is you have a very particular way of pouring your liquor.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very unique. It's awesome, I must admit. How, why?
Well, first of all, like I come from a high volume bar background, right?
Okay.
Everything high volume. So you got to learn how to free pour. That's one thing my first mentor really taught me, is the proper free pouring techniques. Yeah. And then when I got to Employees Only, we really perfected it, and we kind of mastered it in a lot of different ways. It's not just counting, we do a lot of eyesight stuff, a lot of feel, kind of using all your senses and stuff. But you know what? After all these years, we're still different, which is kind of cool. Anybody that works with me or under me, they all learn this style of pouring, and it's not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of practice and understanding how to work the bottle and how to work the glass. Yeah. There's a variety of reasons why we do it, but I guess this is first and foremost for me is the mixing glass. This is an old school Boston glass, and we keep the glass nice and high, right?
Okay.
And we could see what we're doing right there. It's really important. We can see what we're doing, but we could also see the crowd, right? Because there's always a crowd of people. If you're working high volume, there's a person sitting at the bar, there's people behind, and then people behind. So you got to be able to see everything you're doing. You got to keep your body up.
Yeah.
So we keep our body up, and we learn several different ways. This is just a shitty flare bottle, but when we pour it in, we kind of get to know the lines in the glass. If you keep practicing, you pour it in, and we're more or less balancing the cocktail by eye. Did you ever batch a cocktail?
Yeah.
Batch a cocktail on a big scale. You just kind of have your bucket, and you throw you throw something in here. You dump the bottle in. It's kind of like that, only on a very, very small scale, small batching, one at a time. Okay. So basically, what you're doing is when you're pouring here, you're feeling the liquid leave the bottle. You're looking at the glass. It's just when you make cocktails, like the same cocktail a million times a year, you can do it with your eyes closed, more or less. You feel it out. You kind of know what you're doing. So it just takes a lot of practice. And every day I still have the staff. I still have them, or at least I ask them to do a pour practice and stuff. We got these things right here, little. Yeah. But even if you're using a jigger, I think it's really important to make sure that you're testing yourself so that you're accurate. Because even using a jigger, sometimes you could go over and under. Sometimes I'll see people use a jigger and they spill half the shit down their arm while they're pouring. So it's important to just, no matter what style you choose, to like practice it and try to perfect it, and stay sharp with it. I haven't poured in a while, but I know like whenever I get another shift, I'm going to practice first,
Absolutely.
But anyway, it's basically why we do it is for speed, accuracy, and finesse, really. It's all three wrapped up in one.
Okay.
And also body language is important. It's important to keep your body language up. When you're using jiggers on a rail, you're always looking down. You never look up. And for me, looking up is half the battle. It's like seeing who needs a drink, putting a cue in your hand, multitasking. You got to look at somebody first. Every relationship, every hookup, every transaction, anything I've ever done, it started with eye contact. So for me, making eye contact with your guests is super important, and being present and keeping your body up, keeping your body language up and your head up. I used to slap, I used to like slap some of the apprentices at EO. I used to slap them in the ass and stuff when they had their head down and stuff. I used to like kind of jab them in the back or like slap them in their ass or something and be like, hey, head up, remind them, It's really important to keep your head up. And this style of porn helps you do that.
Absolutely. Quindi ragazzi,
when I say slap, I mean like a playful nudge. I don't mean like a slap.
I had no doubt.
Yeah. Before anybody gets scared. Yeah. I'm very gentle. Come on.
Ok, quindi ragazzi ho chiesto a Steve, lui non so se avete mai visto, ha un modo di versare molto molto particolare, come ci ha spiegato tiene il bicchiere molto in alto e inizia a versare fondamentalmente a occhio. Come ci ha detto, pensa che comunque tanti di noi inizialmente abbiamo creato dei cocktail anche un po', ormai si dice sgavagnandola, no? Arrangiandosi. Ci sta spiegando che con tantissima dedizione, tantissima pratica nella nostra mente, quando andiamo a guardare il bicchiere, si creano delle linee dove ci danno la possibilità di andare a misurare il liquore o il distillato in questione che stiamo andando a versare. Una cosa molto importante di questo stile di versaggio è dove si ha il corpo perfettamente dritto e si ha sempre la possibilità di guardare quello che si sta facendo, a differenza dell'utilizzo del jigger, dove si è spesso e volentieri a schiena piegata e con la testa in giù. Quindi questa è una cosa molto importante. Steve ci sta dicendo che il 99% delle cose che lui fa partono sempre con il contatto degli occhi. Che possa essere una transazione, che possa essere parlare con una persona, o che possa essere dover assistere a una persona, parte tutto con un contatto degli occhi. Quindi, fantastico. Awesome stuff. Okay, there's a question. I hope that the person asked a question. Our friend Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte, if you're still with us. What was the big difference between EO in New York and Singapore?
Oh, geez. I mean, well, our goal was to kind of recreate the magic that we had in New York, and that's hard to do. First of all, EO New York is an old school New York cocktail bar. It's been around, 16 years now. It's been a while. Old school prohibition cocktails doesn't really translate to Singapore.
No.
In Singapore, it's like the culture there, the bar culture is very new. Mm-hmm. So if I go there and bring a straight up old school product to like somebody that wants something new, it just doesn't work. So I had to take, I guess, our ethos of bartending and the way we work and stuff and try to incorporate newer school cocktails, Mm-hmm. So I had to find a nice balance. In Singapore, everybody wants, they love, during opening week, I made somebody in Manhattan and the young lady was like, where's the presentation, And I was like, no, because during this time when we opened there, it was like artesian. They were putting drinks in freaking ducks and shit like that. You know, like everything had to be in a stupid glass.
Okay.
And here we go. I made you a Manhattan in a nice coupe with a lemon twist. And they're like, where's the song and dance that goes with it? It's like that's where they were at the time.
Okay.
So we were a very more archaic style and old school.
Mm-hmm.
And but trying to bring that to like a team of kids that were just trying to learn bartending and learn our style because they heard about EO, right? It was all about EO. You know, they were, world's best cocktail bar, 2011, whatever the hell. Oh my God. But trying to manage those expectations was very difficult. Because at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of old school bartenders. Yeah. So what I did with our product is I took a lot of our old school EO New York drinks and I sort of remixed them. I incorporated, clarification into a mix for a drink that wasn't clarified. So I made like the same flavors, so familiar flavors, but just more modern presentation of it. Kind of like, like you hear music these days and it's all like a sample of like an old great song.
Yeah.
And they remix it. That's kind of what I had to do. So like the flavors were great, but the presentation may be a little stale for Singapore standards.
Yeah.
So what you do is you take those flavor combinations, right? And you remix them, and then you do something that the kids enjoy these days. Clarify it or freaking age it, whatever they want to do, or just tighten it up just a little bit.
Yeah, little tweaking.
Yeah. So that for me was really important. I think our cocktails in Singapore are a bit more on the modern side, where EO New York is still like old school New York, and they both work, But finding out what works and what doesn't, that was a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in vibe, lighting, music, vibe, and energy. And that is the same in New York and in Singapore. And in fact, I think in Singapore, I've had some of the best nights of my life there where the whole crowd, like is that the bar is packed, the whole crowd, the bartenders are rocking it. And we play music that everybody knows and sings along to and shit. And the whole bar is singing along to everybody, and oh man, I miss that so much. And I can't wait to be back in that atmosphere again.
Absolutely.
But for me, vibe and energy, that's the most important part. The cocktail is merely a vessel that you ride in on, like you could have the same amount of fun if you have a bottle of beer or if you have a Negroni. You could have the same amount of fun at the end of the day, So it's about creating that vibe and that energy and that feeling for people. When you walk through that curtain in New York, you feel 16 years of bartend, of people being in there, of ambiance, you feel it. And then in Singapore, when you walk through that curtain, I'm telling you, like 9 out of 10 people, they walk in and they're like, where the hell am I? I love that. When you get them there, then it's like, you got them. And when you rope the people and when you get them here, when you get them thinking, feeling what's going on, that's when you win right there. You got them already. You can serve them anything, but you got them at that instant.
I think this is something, Steve, that I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of these interviews with a lot of big names of our trade, like Dale de Groot, David Wondrich, Salvatore Calabrese. And I think what transpired is exactly what you just said. The fact that the cocktail is just a side thing to all of this. It's vibe, it's hospitality, it's how you welcome, you treat your guests. It's a lot of that. And the cocktail is just, I don't want to, be speaking badly about, but I think a lot of us sometimes over concentrate on what the actual cocktail is as opposed to everything else, which most times is actually more important.
Yeah, or some of it's overkill, but that it's on a case-by-case basis. And again, some guests come in looking for that stuff, and you got to be ready for it. Some guests come in, they want a bottle of beer, and they just want to have the time of their lives. And as a bartender, and even as a bartender, owner, manager, you got to recognize that, and you got to try to give people what they want, really. There's no wavering on that. You got to make your guests happy.
Absolutely.
I've never been one of these guys trying to tell people how to drink and how to live. I just want them to come into my place and I want them to have a better time than they did yesterday. You know.
Fantastic. Great philosophy, I think. Absolutely.
It's very simple. It's very simple, but it's, you know, you'd be amazed. It's really hard to execute because bartenders there's a big artistic side to what we do, and sometimes they get caught up in the artistic side. They forget the personal side, you know. And you got to just have balance and everything, you know. Just like a daiquiri, you know, it's got to be balanced. Just like your bartender's got to be balanced too. You know?
Fantastic stuff. Quindi ragazzi, ho chiesto, la nostra amica Charla aveva chiesto, dopo mi sono prolungato un pochino, la nostra amica Charla aveva chiesto a Steve quale fosse la differenza tra Employee Zone di New York e Employee Zone di Singapore. Steve ci ha spiegato un pochino le differenze tra le due realtà. L'Employee Zone di New York è un bar classico, stile newyorkese, che fa miscelazione, stile proibizionismo, quindi una miscelazione molto ricca, molto vintage cocktail, a differenza di quello che era stato richiesto dal mercato singaporeano. Spesso e volentieri venivano serviti dei cocktail e i clienti chiedevano un po' di show in più, eccetera eccetera. Quindi Steve insieme al suo team ha rielaborato un attimino quello che era già la miscelazione che veniva fatta a New York, in qualche maniera rinfrescata un pochino per quello che era il mercato asiatico, cosa non facile. Poi un'altra cosa che è saltata fuori è appunto il fatto che non dobbiamo pesare troppo su quello che è il cocktail in sé per sé, ma tantissimo l'ospitalità, l'accoglienza del cliente e la possibilità di farli stare bene anche se vogliono bere una birra. Non sta a noi a spingere troppo su questa cosa, quindi fantastico. Ok, Steve, so what
but going back to what you're saying, like I can't stress enough that going through the curtain, because we have like a psychic in the window, and then there's a curtain behind you go through, and once you go through, again, I can't stress enough how I want people to feel, because I feel a certain way when I go through that curtain, and I try to make sure as many people possible feel a certain way when they go through that curtain. Like, I love bars being part of some seedy underworld of society, you know, and like that's how I look at it artistically. It's like you ever see like I don't know, like Batman, Gotham City and shit, when like he's gotta go into like a bar and there's like all the criminals are there, you know, the high society criminals, you know. I always, like, when I go through there, that's what I try to imagine is being part of some weird seedy underbelly of society, you know, where you have high society, low society, and they're all mingling, and it's just I like you to feel a little bit of danger when you walk into my places, but it's all under control, you know. But I want to feel a little bit like, holy shit, something crazy might happen tonight, you know. I love that feeling, you know.
Ok, fantastico. Steve ha voluto soffermarsi, ragazzi, sul fatto secondo lui è importantissimo quello che c'è dall'altra parte della tenda, no? Dice, quando i miei ospiti entrano all'interno del mio locale, uno dei miei locali, vogliono che la prima reazione sia qualcosa di fantastico, sia qualcosa che non sanno bene a che cosa aspettarsi. Bello sì, perché per forza, però che abbiano anche un po' quasi di timore, nel senso che, un timore positivo ovviamente, dove non sanno esattamente che cosa aspettarsi da una serata in un determinato luogo. Quindi sicuramente è un approccio particolare, un approccio molto, molto, molto bello. So what advice do you give to new bartenders or bartenders that are approaching this our trade, you know, to start off with?
Oh, geez, I mean, it's hard to just give one bit of advice, because what I do these days, you know, like, I spend a lot of time trying to help these kids develop themselves into being professionals in their own right. And, you know, it's like, we're talking years worth of training here. I'm going to try to wrap up in like 2 minutes, but, you know, I guess take your time, you know, there's no rush. A lot of times I see somebody, they've been bartending for 2-3 years, and then they're all of a sudden an expert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of fast experts here. You know, you can skyrocket to the top really quickly. It took me over 13 years to open my first bar. Just being a workhorse, being a bartender, learning, saving my money. I guess have a goal. You know, you always got to have some goals, but take it easy. You know, like just because you have an opportunity to do something doesn't mean it's the right opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, just because, I don't know, just everybody's got to slow down. I know that in society now, everything happens fast. Everything happens so fast.
Yeah.
But, you know, I always wanted to make sure that I took things slow, and I listened to those that came before me. I don't necessarily do exactly what they say, but I hear them out, and I try to process my own thing. Like what I never want from like my apprentices and stuff like that, from when I'm a principal bartender or when I own the bar, like I don't want them to be me. I don't want to like raise, so to speak, a bunch of me's, you know, in the industry. I want to teach them what I've went through, and I want them to have their own experience and forge their own path. I want them to not be afraid to make mistakes. You know, I have never fired anybody because of their job performance. I've always fired them because of behavioral shit, you know, or like fucking off on the team or screwing the team over somehow. Like that's the only reason why I've ever let people go. Is it's got nothing to do with the actual job itself. You know, I don't know, man. I just want the kids to be able to make mistakes and not be afraid to make mistakes, but learn from them. You know what I mean? And I think that's the most important part. I'm still making mistakes to this day. And I just try to learn from it and not make the same mistake twice. And that's what I think is really important in this business, you know, or in life in general, really.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of all over the place, and I have a million things in regards to advice, you know, the do's and don'ts, mainly the don'ts. That's why I'm here, to tell you what not to do. But, you know, it's just, you know what I'm trying to say, everybody? Just like, take it easy. Don't be so stressed out. Learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid. Don't be timid. You know, go get it. Go get what you deserve, you know?
Excellent. Excellent stuff. Ok, ragazzi, quindi ho chiesto a Steve se aveva dei consigli da dare a bartender, barlady, che stanno approcciando questo lavoro magari da poco o vorrebbero approcciare questo lavoro. Giustamente Steve fa fatica a dare soltanto un consiglio. Consigli sono tantissimi. Imparate, lavorate duro, commettete degli errori, commetterete degli errori sicuramente. L'importante è imparare dagli errori commessi, ascoltare tantissimo le persone e poi trarre le vostre proprie conclusioni, imparare, lavorare duro, avere degli obiettivi, porsi degli obiettivi, cioè con voi stessi, e puntatevi degli obiettivi. Come dice Steve, io non volevo creare un gruppo di persone che lavorassero come me. Io volevo trasmettere la mia esperienza alle persone che lavoravano con me, per poi dare la possibilità loro di diventare qualcosa che fosse di loro stessi. Quindi ottimo. Steve, is there any new projects that you'd like to share with us that are, you know, work in progress maybe?
Yes, but if I tell you, they're gonna kill me. If I tell you here, they're gonna kill me. So I can't say anything. Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
Actually, yeah. There's a hitman waiting outside. If I say anything
very
wrong,
New York thing, this.
Yeah, if I say anything wrong, they're gonna put a bullet in my brain. So I can't say anything at this moment. But believe me that I'm always working on something. And honestly, like I've got only a couple more bars left in me. I've been trying to transition into more real estate ownership and buying and selling properties and stuff.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I've been doing right now. I have a house in Jersey, and I'm trying to get another one very, very soon. I'm trying to develop more long-term assets. I'm about to be 40 in a couple of years. You know, I'm just trying to think about my 50s and 60s right now and try to get some long-term assets. And that's really what I'm working on. But I still got a solid probably 15 years of bar left in me. So
awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm going for it, and I can still move my ass for an old guy too. I can still fill that cash register. Them kids in Singapore, I'm coming back soon. You know, I just reapplied to get back into Singapore. Brian, you still there? I'm going to show you on Friday night that the old man can still ring in the register.
Awesome, awesome. Hopefully that'll give us the possibility to be able to drink from you again at some point very soon then.
Absolutely, I can't wait. You know, these days, again, I haven't been behind the bar as much as I'd like to because, you know, when you're on the bar ownership side, it's like, especially during the pandemic, I want to make sure to bring as many people back to work as I can. I'm not going to take shifts away from other people, you know, let them make their money, you know. It's like when you're a bartender, your job's to put the money in the register. But now my job is to take the money in the register and try to keep some of it. And it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I can imagine it's not easy.
It's a lot harder to keep the money that's already in the register instead of putting it in. Putting it in the register is so freaking easy. Yeah, keeping it, that's the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Quindi Steve ci sta raccontando che ha qualche nuovo progetto ma non ce lo può svelare perché sennò c'è un hitman che mi spara. Quindi direi che rimaniamo sintonizzati con lui per quanto riguarda i suoi nuovi progetti. Ci sta dicendo che non vede l'ora di ritornare dietro il banco bar, la possibilità di lavorare insieme ai suoi ragazzi. Giustamente dal momento che da bartender si fa il salto ad imprenditore, riempire il cassetto è molto facile, mantenere i soldi all'interno del cassetto è un po' meno facile. Steve, what can I say? Thank you so much for your time. I'm a huge fan of yours since back that evening in Berlin with Bacardi, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was fun. I was at the Amano Hotel. We had a big shift,
yeah,
right?
Great memory. Good man. Was it 2015? 16 maybe?
You know, the last 10 years of my life, the last 10 years of my life is a fucking blur. I don't really remember.
Well, I must admit, there were a lot of events that evening, and a friend of mine said to me, okay, Anto, Berlin's a big place. There's a lot of things going on for Barcomben. Where do you want to go? Is there anybody you want to see? And I was like, okay, I need to go see Steve Schneider.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And, I don't take that for granted. I really appreciate it, man. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm just a regular old fucking barman just trying to make his way. And I'm just, I appreciate you reaching out to me and having me talk about what we do for a living. So I really appreciate it. And I cherish those kind of moments and stuff like that. So thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic. Ragazzi, vi approfitto per dire, we haven't spoken about Hey Bartender. Unfortunately, like I said, there are a lot of, because it's only in English, some people in Italy may not be able to watch it or get the gist of the whole film. But I'm just going to mention Hey Bartender as well. Ragazzi, per chi non l'avesse mai visto, Hey Bartender è un film dove Steve è protagonista insieme a tantissime leggende della miscelazione newyorkese, c'è Dusan Zarik, c'è Sasha Petras, ci sono tantissimi mostri sacri della miscelazione, è in lingua originale. Vi suggerisco di andarvelo a cercare online perché c'è, è veramente un film fantastico.
You know, one time I was in Russia, in St. Petersburg, and they were playing Hey Bartender.
Really?
And, but it was all dubbed over in Russian. And I think it was just the same guy that dubbed everybody's voice. So I had the same voice as Julie Reiner, you know? It was the same guy the whole time. I thought it was pretty funny. You guys have to dub over Hey Bartender in Italian now.
Yeah, well, perhaps I'll have to speak to whoever is in charge of production on that.
Yeah, I would love if I had an Italian bartenders dubbing over all of Hey Bartender. I'd like to have Patrick Pistolesi.
Patrick, yeah.
I like him to be my voice. Okay, so if he can dub over my voice, that would be great.
Well, we could probably group up a good bunch of bartenders to be able to dub you, all of you guys.
That'd be hilarious.
Another one.
But man, I'll tell you, I miss Italy, and I hope everybody's staying safe and chilling. I know things are pretty tough out there, but you know, I always enjoy myself so much when I go to Italy, and I can't wait to come back. I just can't wait to the world to return to normal. In the meantime, I'm just kind of laying low, relaxing, waiting it out. I'm vaccinated. I'm trying to get back to Singapore. I'm just trying not to drive myself crazy. So
yeah,
hope everybody's doing the same.
you and me both. You and me both.
And this is what I'm doing right now today. Busy day.
Excellent.
Busy day today.
Okay. Excellent. Video games.
I got a busy day ahead of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come find Tony Stunk, everybody. Get tore up.
Excellent. Ragazzi, ringraziamo Steve Schneider, è stato veramente un immenso piacere per me fare due chiacchiere con lui. This interview will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so if there's anybody who wants to go back and have a look and perhaps, you know, take something from this, feel free to. Steve, all the best, my friend. I hope I speak to you soon, and perhaps we can have a daiquiri or 5 very, very soon.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Ok. Ragazzi, grazie ancora per averci seguito in questa diretta. Seguiteci sui nostri canali social, sia su Facebook che su Instagram, e iscrivetevi al canale YouTube per rimanere aggiornati su tutti i nostri video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find all the rest of our videos. All the best, stay safe, until next time.